Hi, in this video, I'm going to talk to you about the 4 things that you need to make sure you absolutely do before buying any investment property whatsoever. This is especially important if you're looking at buying an apartment building, but it's also true for single family residences and small plexes. So let's go ahead and jump into those things so you can avoid those 4 major mistakes that we see a lot of new owners make when they're buying a property or doing their due diligence. Okay, so time and time again, I see investors make the wrong choices when they're buying properties, whether it's a house, a plex, or an apartment building. They're really eager to get in and do a deal. They're looking at the upside potential. They just get excited about all things that are very, very important, but they tend to overlook some other aspects of things. And this can oftentimes be because maybe their broker's not advising them appropriately or they're not doing their own due diligence. But these 4 things are really critically important. The number one thing that you have to make sure that you're doing is looking at the paperwork. The devil is in the details, and paperwork can hide a lot of sin. Without knowing what the paperwork says or making sure that it's complete, you can be walking into some major expenses, like having residents that weren't properly screened, not having the right language in your rental agreement, not having the appropriate addendums, maybe having deposits that are not at the level that they need to be. These are all really important things and are going to be a sign about how the property's been managed up until that point, whether it's self-managed by an owner or a management company. If that paperwork is not clean, organized, and up to date, that's going to cause some major headaches for you. So you want to look at the paperwork and go through that with a fine-tooth comb. The second item is just not really being capitalized well enough. It depends on what type of property you're buying, but if you're buying a value add property, you want to take into account the class of property you're buying. In many cases, if a property is something that you're looking to add value to, in many cases, it's not just improvements. You're talking about changing the way that the property is managed, changing the culture of the building. These are going to require you to take action that's going to probably create some vacancy and turnover, and you need to be ready and anticipate those costs. The third one has to do with not walking all of the units. Now, you don't personally have to walk all the units, but somebody needs to get their eyes on every unit. That's going to give you a strong idea of how the properties are looked after, how they're managed. Are people following the rental agreements? Are they not? Is there a lot of deferred maintenance? Are you walking into areas where there's liability like mold and things like that in the property? What about pet damage? These are all things that are really important to consider. And then the fourth item, and often overlooked item, is looking at inbound or upcoming regulation. Sure, you can look at the laws on the books that are happening now, but especially in this climate nationwide, you're seeing a lot of changes from a regulatory standpoint. So you want to know what's coming down the pipeline in the next 6 months, next 12 months, that's going to have a major impact on your property. There could be something like tenant relocation money that you have to pay, and that's something you have to budget for on every single tenancy as a worst case scenario. That can have a major impact on cash flow, therefore impact the valuation of that building. And so these are just the 4 major things that you want to make sure that you're looking at. Now, we're experts in the property management and real estate investment industry. If you're thinking about buying an investment property, we would love to talk to you, be happy to go over any of the details with you. Feel free to reach out and give us a call. If you're not ready yet, go ahead and hit our subscribe button. We're going to be regularly putting out content that's useful for investors like you, and would love for you to make sure that you're making moves into the market that are informed and educated, whether you work with us or not. We just want to make sure that you're starting off on the right track. Thanks for tuning into our video, and we look forward to hopefully hearing from you at some point and tuning into more videos. Thank you.